Hi, this is David K, and you're listening to Altered Geek. Geek.
Get altered, get geeky, it's a wild ride. Join the discussion, let's dive into lore. From Star Trek to Transformers, we're ready to soar. Superheroes clash as we spark up the flame. Altered Geek Podcast, remember the name.
Hello and welcome to Altered Geek. I'm your host, Steve Megatron, and joining me on this adventure into geekdom is TFG1Mike.
Hello.
If you would like to subscribe or keep up to date on this podcast, please visit us on geekcastradio.com. I've also noticed a great uptick recently on Geekcast Radio. Plus, there's a lot of awesome geeky articles coming out from Mike, myself, and Optimus Solo.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, and lots of TV show stuff. I'm doing a lot of podcast writing lately, so that you won't find much of that there, but I may branch out soon. So in this episode, we're back on the cusp of the 16-year anniversary of the podcast network, the big 1-6.
Oh boy. Somebody take away our licenses. We haven't even gotten them yet.
Well, in 2 years we can drive. The internet, that is. No, there's been some interesting developments some that happened after I got back and some while I was on vacation. And a lot of it's movie industry related, between like AMC and WB and Discovery and things of that nature. Yeah. So I think without further ado, we'll get into it with the initial article that you posted to, which was AMC.
Yeah, this is pretty much a nothing burger. I started following Pop Culture Brian on Instagram and Facebook. There's this guy that does pop culture news and other things, and it's an easier way for me to consume news than to sit there and read a news article kind of thing.
Article after article after, it's like, okay, get to the point.
Yeah. Which is why I like a lot of certain YouTube video shows and things like that on certain topics. It just depends on what the topic is. So I saw this and I was like, oh no, because I haven't been to a movie theater since 2018. Literally the anniversary re-release of Transformers the movie or whatever it was in 2018 when Karen and I went to see that at the time was the reason the last time we went to see a movie at the time. And I just don't go to movie theaters. I'm perfectly fine waiting like right now. I would love to be able to see Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch 2025 live action is pretty much not shot for shot, but it's pretty much outside of a few live action plot points that they had to change to accommodate live action, which I'm fine with. I don't care. All these people, that's a whole other topic, whatever, but oh my God, all these people freaking out about how, oh my God, it's not the same as the animated movie from 23 years ago, however the hell long it's been. Get over it.
That's about right.
What the 23 years ago with the live action thing.
Just the time frame, I saw things where people were freaking out because they changed the fact that
the social worker, the villain, the CIA agent, all that stuff.
Well, and then they changed the fact that when they were doing the hide and seek scene, it was a cabinet instead of a dryer.
Oh God, yes.
Like the original was a dryer.
It was a dryer.
Then they edited it to look like a cabinet on Disney Plus, which I agree with. I agree with that change.
Okay. See, that's the thing. That's the other problem I'm currently having. And that's another topic. I actually want to take this over to Geekcast Radio at some point and do a show. That might be our 350th episode of Geekcast Radio.
Might be a fun one to get a round table with DJ.
Oh, you have no. Well, you don't even know what I'm going to bring up.
Is this an off-air conversation or an on-air conversation?
No. I'm just gonna give you the headline. No, I'm just gonna give you the headline in a nutshell. Subscription services and how they are the new drug of the 21st century, and how they guilt trip you, bribe you, and cajole you through 50 different screens before they allow you to actually cancel them. I have been without Disney Plus for about a month or so. I have been, and normally I pay for that annually, and I wasn't able to do the annual subscription this year. Once I get paid again, I will be buying the annual subscription, so I don't have that problem for the next year or so. Same thing with YouTube Premium. I currently, the first time in at least, I want to say 11 years, I do not have YouTube Premium currently. And I feel like I'm in the Stone Age of 2007. Literally, I forgot what it was like watching YouTube ads. YouTube Premium is absolutely love YouTube Premium. And I'm not saying that to take away from the creators on YouTube whatsoever, because YouTube does any of I forget what the money, I forget what the numbers are for it, but anyone who has a YouTube Premium subscription, whether it's monthly or annually, YouTube creators, as long I think, and I could be wrong about this, so people can correct me. As long as you watch enough of that creator, they get a percentage of the YouTube Premium subscription that you pay for, or something.
Okay.
Somehow, as long as you pay for a YouTube Premium subscription, somehow it goes back to the creators. I forget what the actual details are on how it gets back to the creators, but it does get back to the creators. So that way you don't feel like you're making them lose out revenue by not having ads and paying YouTube directly for a subscription. So YouTube does share part of, I would have to research that, and I'm not clicking on anything right now because I'm too damn lazy to do so. But I do remember reading that at some point. But right now I'm without those things and I'm slumming it, and that's okay. So I didn't even realize, I thought Lilo and Stitch was still in theaters. I didn't even realize it was on Disney Plus yet.
Well, I don't know if it is. I was saying the animated one.
Oh, the animated one. Yeah. The animated one had the dryer scene. They changed it in the live act. And again, I've seen practically every spoiler, and it's not a spoiler. Like I said, I've already talked about the changes. They made Cobra Bubbles an actual CIA agent instead of the social worker former CIA agent. They added in Tia Carrere, who was the original voice of Nani, as the social worker.
That's cool.
They made the original voice of David from the cartoon, from the animated film, and those from the original 2002 film. They made him the boss. They made him Nani's boss in the live action film. Mrs. Asagawa, I'm probably saying that wrong. From the original film, the actress, the lady that voiced her in the original animated film, she's who plays the neighbor in the live action film. So, like the lady that says, "Dog, he's no dog. This is a dog." That lady that's in the trailers. So I like what they did with it. Even though I haven't seen all of it, from all of the clips and everything I've seen, and oh my God, the way they are, the way that all of the creators online are remixing some of the Stitch scenes to various music tracks. Holy crap. It's hilarious. They are taking the water gun fight scene, and where it's not his slowdown. It's not when he's ready to fire the water at Lilo, but it's when he does the bam, bam, bam. When he does that in the trailer. He does that fast. People slow it down. So it goes bam, bam, bam. And they put, oh my God, I'm going to end up inundating you with some of this stuff because it's so creative and so good how they're look, I'm all in on Lilo and Stitch. It's the only Disney live action I will ever say I'm all in on. I don't know if I would be all in on them doing any sequels, but I mean, the thing is literally broken every box office record ever at this point. It's heading towards $1 billion if it isn't already there now. I don't think
Funny
it
how
is.
that works.
Yeah. Well, it's Disney. I don't think it's at $1 billion yet, as far as I know. But yeah, no, the AMC thing. So the AMC thing is basically they're going to do a premium ad thing before all of the other ads and all of the other previews, which Brian, Pop Culture Brian, already pointed out that a Cinemark and Regal have already been doing this. So it's basically, that's why I say it's a nothing burger. AMC is just jumping on the bandwagon of the other theaters that have already been doing this. And I know most people are going to say, "Oh, well, just figure out the timing of how long that ad break is, and just buy your tickets and show up to the movies 30 minutes late."
Well, remember back in the day, like they used to show. I mean, they all used to show commercials and extra trailers and things like that, but they used to just get to the point.
Yep.
But it does seem like they're adding more and more and more and more. It's been a couple of years since I've seen a movie in theater.
Yeah.
Luckily, I don't go to AMC. I go to like Cinemark because that's all that's around here. But I don't. And this is, I mean, we've discussed movie theaters ad nauseum before too. I don't miss the movie theater. And I know that's kind of almost like sacrilegious to say as a, geek podcast. But I don't miss the commercials. I don't miss waiting to see the film. Because I mean, like, I'm counting on the film of being between this time and this time. Like, I don't want to spend excess time there.
Yeah.
And then there's the other aspect of, I saw an article kind of along these lines, and I can't find it right now. But it was along the lines of people just like the time of the movie theater kind of being done. Just, at least for like our generation, our era, just because it's like, it's easier to just watch it at home in the comfort of your own home, eat your own food. You don't have the obnoxious person or people that are making it more or less difficult to watch the film. Because they're noisy and obnoxious. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, I don't miss going to the theaters anymore. And I used to miss it. So it is kind of sad in that regard. But I honestly, I haven't missed it in years. Like, it's just been one of those things where it's just more convenient at home, and streaming's kind of created that. Like, it's fostered it. It's brought it in. It's made it, easy to do at home. And I don't see me ever really going back to the theater unless there's something like I just have to see.
Yeah. I thought I was going to have to see Stitch on the big screen. I thought I was going to have to see Mission Impossible on the big screen. Oh, by the way, and I first heard this from Pop Culture Brian when he was talking about Stitch's box office and Mission Impossible's box office. And I know other people have said this, but I need to use Stitch and Impossible everywhere now because, oh my God, I love that. But it's one of those things where I wanted to actually see both films in theaters. I really wanted to. And at the end of the day, I just couldn't. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not missing out on anything really. I'm missing out on sticky floors. I'm missing out on theater that probably, and I live in a town that I don't even know where the nearest, I mean, I know where the nearest probably cleanest theater is probably in Indianapolis, but I've lived here in Anderson, Indiana, northeast of Indianapolis for 3.5 years now, almost 3 years now. And I've never looked for a movie theater in this town, so I wouldn't even know what kind of movie theaters or what kind of whatever are in this town. Stitch is at $772.5 million. Oh, it's going to hit $1 billion before the end of the summer. I guarantee it. I guarantee.
Not quite surprising.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. None whatsoever.
So moving on to the next one.
Yes.
We have Warner Brothers putting the kibosh on Batman Forever, the Schumacher cut.
Why?
Do they just not like money?
Okay,
like literally.
First of all, your director unfortunately passed away in 2020. Your lead actor from this film passed away a couple of months ago. And it's the film's 30th anniversary. Why aren't you putting this out? Like,
because they don't like money?
Somebody just take that stupid cane of his and just hit me in the head with it over and over and over and over again. I feel like whoever is at Warner's going back if there was anybody going back and forth over this at Warner's, this is your brain on the box. This is my brain on the box. This is your brain, my brain, your brain, my brain. Does anybody else feel like a fried egg? Like, seriously, who the hell's brain wasn't on the box when they made this decision? It's 30 years later. I understand why initially 30 years ago they went for the more comic booky, they went for the more jokey, they went for the more kid friendly, because I was 15 at the time when this movie came out. You were 9.
It's probably because of the reception that Batman and Batman Returns received.
Oh, no, you can't blame that on that. No. Okay. 30 years later, you cannot blame the first two films on the fact that right now in 2025, they're not releasing the Schumacher cut. The Schumacher cut, at least according to this article.
No, not now. I'm saying back
not
then.
Now. No, yes. No, absolutely. That's what it was. Absolutely. 30 years ago? Absolutely. The reason why there was no Schumacher cut at the time, they wanted a more colorful, but what I'm saying now is the Schumacher cut that was supposed to be released until WB put the kibosh on it was the more psychological. It was, what does this article say? It says, Kiva Goldsman claimed to have seen the cut. There's definitely about 35% more psychological realism, more about guilt and shame, Goldman told the Playlist. Whatever the Playlist is, I've never heard of that publication. Joel's first cut had all of that, but preview audiences weren't ready for it. They just wanted the humor and the action, so a lot of it got trimmed down. Still, it was a cool film. If it's a cool film for the 30th anniversary of the damn film, release the Schumacher cut. We are recording this quite literally a week. We are literally, we are, literally a week before the 30th anniversary to the day. June 16th is when Batman Forever came out 30 years ago. 1 week from today, next Monday, June 16th, is the date that Batman Forever came out 30 years ago. Why won't you people release this? It's not going to hurt anybody to release this thing. It's not going to tarnish the film that you did release. It's only going to give those of us who care about the thing a more in-depth look at what was originally proposed. And like I already said in the show a few minutes ago, your lead actor is no longer with us and your director is no longer with us. So let us relive the original dream of the legacy of those people. We're not going to be taking children to see this cut here. Like, this is for adults, people. This is not for kids. Hell, even the original movie was PG-13. PG-13, for those that don't know, is for children who are 13 and older. So basically, teenagers and young adults to adulthood. We're not taking little Timmy at 6 years old to see this movie. But it's not going to happen because WB just doesn't want it to happen, and they suck. You suck. Next.
Yep.
What else sucks?
Well, I mean, I don't know if this sucks, but it's interesting. Warner Brothers Discovery to split into two separate public companies by 2026.
This hurts my head.
Current CEO David Zaslav will helm the streaming and studio company, which includes the movie businesses and HBO Max, while CFO Gunnar Weidenfels will oversee the global network side of things, including CNN, TBS, and Warner's other cable channels, and basically reverses the entire 2022 merger of Warner Media and Discovery Communications.
So what I don't understand about this is if it's going into two separate companies, what is the second company?
So the other one will be Discovery, and the other one will be Warner Brothers. It's showing, like, in one of the images that I found about it. It shows WB will have HBO Max and WB, and then Discovery will have Discovery, CNN, OWN, ID, Food Network, TBS, right, TLC, okay, HGTV, and TNT.
So, okay, because...
But the thing about it is Warner Brothers has been tossed around.
Yeah.
It's like the... It's like the ex-girlfriend nobody wants.
Yeah. Which is sad because of its legacy, but yeah.
It is sad because of its legacy. Like, I mean, it was AOL Time Warner. I mean, it was Time Warner. You know, it's jumped around and changed names so many times that it's losing its relevancy. I mean, it's almost like CBS and Paramount and Viacom.
Yeah.
You know, Viacom had CBS and Paramount, then they split and it just became Paramount CBS. Then they merged back together and became Paramount.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. But I mean, Comcast is doing that with NBC Universal. I mean, this part of it's like 6 months old, but they're spinning off like their cable channels, the TV network side of it. So like MSNBC, CNBC, and like USA.
Yeah.
Like they're wanting to move those and then keep their other stuff, you know, on the Peacock service. And yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It's a really strange time in television history right now because it's either going streaming or
dead.
Yeah, or they're just dying or floundering.
It's dead, Jim.
So I do find it funny though that Warner Brothers Discovery is essentially splitting, and I feel like if this doesn't take after the split, either somebody big is going to buy them out, like a Netflix or a Disney or a Comcast or something like that, or some of these are going to go away for good, and then people will just have like random buying rights of various tentpoles.
Yeah. So speaking of tentpoles here, I looked at because originally you sent me a LinkedIn link for this,
Yep.
and then I looked at the CNBC article that person linked in their post.
Mhm.
So I'm on the CNBC article, and I've read this paragraph 4 times in the last hour and a half in preparing for this podcast. And I'm going to read this again because even though you've already said it 4 times, I have to say it again to myself because I have to see if it makes sense to me because either it's me or it's written poorly and I can't tell. So I'm going to do this again and I'm sorry, but I have to. WBD will separate into a streaming and studios company, which will include its movie properties and streaming services, HBO Max, which they still haven't changed the name back to yet. And a global networks company. Okay. See, I think I either read that too fast or because that just kind of jumbled all together to me the first 40 times I read this paragraph. That the global networks companies part of it was like, oh, isn't that all the same thing? No, it's not, obviously. Duh, Mike. I'm dumb. My brain don't work so well no more, everybody. Why should I be a podcast? I quit. I retire. Good night, everybody.
Anyhow.
Seriously, dude, I'm serious. Like, I've been trying to figure out what you're talking about, like with the 2 company thing for 40 minutes. And I'm like, what is he talking about? 2 Oh, God damn it.
Pretty much.
I don't know, man. And it's all because he wants to consolidate, and everybody's consolidating now. Everybody wants to cut down or cut loose or cut this or cut everything is merge this, merge that 4 or 5 years ago or however the hell long it's been. And now everybody's like, cut the fat, cut the fat, cut the fat, cut the fat, cut the fat. And it's like, but you're still going to have the same thing just in 2 different oh, God.
So moving to the main topic here.
Yes, main topic.
Yeah, since those are some interesting geek news in our top 3, or the as we used to call it, the 10-minute blitz.
Yes, the 10-minute blitz.
Geek collection habits.
Yes.
Which this is far more entertaining.
Yes, but you completely ignored my reference.
I didn't catch your reference.
Are you serious?
I don't even know if it registered.
It probably didn't at this time of night, but we didn't have a topic section in the script. So I went and I made a topic section for the script, and I'm like, oh, interesting, because you had mentioned something about topics and geekdom.
Mm-hmm.
GOT. My GOT is better than the actual GOT. Geekdom of topics. The topics of our geekdom.
Or you could do togs, like pogs.
No.
I had to explain what those were to my kids recently. They were on. It was like, I don't know if it was on Boy Meets World or something else. Like,
it was probably Boy Meets World.
Yeah, I think it was a Boy Meets World episode, and my kid was like, "What is pogs?"
Nah.
And I'm like, "Well, it's these things that, you know."
My heart hurts so much.
I'm like, I'm so old. But no, for one, I've been enjoying like recollecting again as an adult. Plus, I've got a 3D printer, which makes it even nicer. So I can print things.
You don't need to collect things. You can just collect print files and print the shit yourself
if they exist.
Yes. Well, that's what I'm saying. You can just collect the print files and print it yourself if it exists. Yeah.
But yeah, So like I've recently printed multiple like Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball GT figures, just because one, either they don't have a figure of them, or they're so obscenely priced that it's like, oh, this isn't worth it. And it's like, do I need them to move? Not really. I mean, the ones that do, it's nice. I mean, for the most part, I don't repose them, but there are times where I do. Typically when I run out of room and I have to reshuffle my Geek collection, which I need to take a new picture of mine just so that I can put it in this episode post.
Yes.
I have a Beast Machines Megatron that I still have yet to finish printing, or not printing, painting. It's more so I have to figure out what I want to do with it.
Yeah.
And how much detail, because I'm not unhappy with it where it's at to where I would leave it alone. But at the same time, I'm like, I should probably put a little bit more work into them. But I've printed like starships. I've printed like captain's chairs. I printed like for my Power Rangers, like the pedestals for the heads, like for their helmets to go on. And I've printed risers in my cabinet so that I can actually see all of the figures.
Yep.
And I've printed some morphers and some, Star Trek badges, heads for Transformers, and add-ons for them, and so on and so forth, and stasis pod parts. And so like my collecting habits have kind of been, if it had this strong resonance with my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And then part of it is like, ooh, shiny. It's like, ooh, new version of something I used to have, but it's better.
Yep.
Kind of like the transmetals, the Transart transmetals, or the Lightning Collection Transformer, or not Transformers, Power Rangers. And then like, oh, we don't have an optimal Megatron. Well, I'll just 3D print a head and put it on optimal. So I mean, I've had a lot of fun with those aspects as well, of like just kind of trying to reclaim like things I had back then, or things that I was like, I'm too poor, I don't have it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that was part of it too, is like I legitimately didn't have the income to purchase some of these things.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it just made me remember like Toys R Us and KB Toys when I used to go in there and window shop.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
What kind of prompted the idea, though, was I saw you were like, I'm redoing my collection here, my display case.
No.
I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. Like, I didn't think about like the Funkos like fit perfectly in those shelving units. And
absolutely, these are basically mainstay from Walmart. They're 3 shelving units, and basically, because the thing with Funko Pops, folks, is they don't transform. They don't move. So, okay, well, sometimes the arms might move or the head might move. The arms don't move. The head moves, but left to right. Other than that, most of the time they don't move. But so yeah, and the great thing about the Funko Pops is easiest toy to get in and out of the box. You don't have to destroy the box. You don't have to throw away the boxes if you don't want to. You can put it right back in, and it doesn't affect the value, as long as you don't, hit the box up against the side of a desk or anything. As long as you don't put a crease in the box or put a cutting edge in the box, or, you know what I mean? Like, as long as you don't actually damage the box, opening the box itself to take it out, to take a photo and put it right back in the box is not gonna deteriorate the thing's value of anything. So that's one of the reasons why I love the Funko Pops, is they're the easiest toys for me to open in and out of the box and not have to worry about it. And when I'll let you finish in a second, but when I sent you that photo, it was more about, I'm kind of figuring this out as I go. I don't know what I'm doing with it, but I'm like, I'm going to end up paying you for a a ARC Optimus Prime 3D printed command chair at some point before the end of the year because I need matching chair. And I need matching matrix too, but the center of that matrix has to be blue. You can't futz it and just make it all orange.
Well, yeah, that, I mean, I would have done more with the other one, but you were kind of
no, that's fine. That was fine. But I'm saying, like, for the Autobot Matrix, it has to be special. The Decepticon Matrix, it didn't work anyway. It was fake. So, but yeah, no. So, but yeah, no, folks. Once you see the post, you folks, but if you're listening to the sound of my voice right now, y'all better go over to geekcastradio.com and look at this episode's post because the pictures he's going to put in that I don't even know what else new he's going to do to his display. Like, he's got light up cabinets. He's got robots in there that actually function. He's got robot clean. He's got Rosie the robot. She cleans his shelves for him every time.
I do not have Rosie the robot.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah. Good thing she doesn't listen to this podcast.
Mike's gonna die now.
Yeah. Yep.
But no, I mean, I've been just kind of building up the collection more or less, like just having fun with it. And a couple of years ago, I didn't have squat left. Like, this is all stuff that I've accumulated in the last like 7 years, give or take.
That's about the same for me.
There's very little left of my original collection in there. Like, it's funny because some of the things I reacquired, like the like I have the McFarlane Batman, the Thrilling 30 figures. I had all those. The one Megatron that's when they did the 10th anniversary and it looked like kind of a mix of Transmetal and not, like the Robo version of like Megatron.
Folks, let me tell you, next year in 2026, I guarantee you, we're probably going to end up doing an episode a week for all things Transformers leading up to whenever the hell we get a 30th anniversary Megatron, because he's going to be fucking whoring out himself for Megatron. I guarantee you. It's going to be like, I have my obsessions, but I'm kind of over my obsessions at this point, and we'll talk about that here in a minute, but I can't imagine what next year is going to be like for Beast Wars, because
if they do anything.
Oh, yeah, they better.
They better, but they won't.
Revive the brand. Like, if Beast Wars didn't happen, we wouldn't be here. Like, like, they better do something. They better do something big.
I hope so. I really do. I hope that they honestly do a Beast Machines Megatron.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Like a legit one, or if nothing else, the Days of Future Past Megatron. But again, I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't know either, but let me tell you, folks, whatever does or doesn't happen next year, he's going to be difficult to live with, because next year's the 30th anniversary of Beast Wars. And
now they may do a transmetal Megatron akin to their dragon.
Did you got the dragon, didn't you?
I did. And I also repainted it.
Of course you did.
And I got a third party head for it.
Of course you did.
Because it had Robots in Disguise Megatron head.
Yeah, that's true.
And I was looking at it and I was like, that is not the correct
head. Yep.
No, and it looked nothing like him. And then I mean, I mean, looking back at it now, I can 3D print the head for
Well,
it.
yeah, but
And there are versions of it out there that I've seen some, though. There's like this one version that somebody did for an Optimal Megatron, and it looks like they plucked it out of the cartoon.
Yep.
But same thing with the Transmetal 2 Megatron. Like, I've seen that one too, and I legitimately, I mean, I like the one I have on it, but I mean, if the other option was available, I would have gotten that at that time. Yeah. But no, I've really enjoyed just kind of rebuilding my Megatron collection, and I have Masterpiece, and I have like the IDW Megatron.
Yep.
Which I 3D printed.
Yep.
So that makes him cool too. And then so I mean, yeah, I mean it's definitely one of those things. Like, I've got my Star Trek, I've got my G1, I've got Select G2. And when I say Select G2, I mean I got J-Axis with the and again, this is like one of those things where I customized them based on appearance and the need. Yep. I could have painted him, but I also opted to do the repro labels.
Yeah.
For him.
Repro labels are awesome. So
they really are. I mean, it added some nice, shiny aspects to him that I really wasn't going to do. Yep. I could have done it with G2 Megatron, the tank War for Cybertron, Select series.
Yep.
But I opted instead to get the upgraded chest, where it juts out like the actual original G2 figure did.
Very cool. Very cool.
And then I 3D printed his shoulder cannon and other stuff. I mean, it doesn't transform with all of that on there, but it could with some of it, but I don't ever transform them. Yeah. And I turned my War for Cybertron Netflix Optimus Prime into G2 because it fits more of that G2 aesthetic,
right?
Than the like, for instance, I'm getting the knockoff Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime,
right? Because
he looks like Optimus Prime. So I'm super stoked for that one. And I don't know if I'll ever transform it per se, but I'm excited for it. Plus, it doesn't come with a trailer, which has been my beef with every Optimus Prime that's come out in the last decade.
But we figured out tonight, through the magic of video and me showing you comparisons and you showing me photo comparisons, of why you don't want the actual thing. So it is nothing to do with the trailer, folks. It's they put season 1 Optimus Prime's head on SS-86. The coloring of SS-86 Optimus Prime's head is a light blue from season 1 of the cartoon. It is not the dark metallic blue that he has in the movie. So that's what Steve's real hang-up is for SS-86 Prime from Hasbro. It isn't the fact that it comes with the damn trailer.
It was the color, but it was just the wrong head. Like the design, it wasn't right, like, for the film. And I think, do I have room for the trailer? No. Could I have put it in there and had Prime stand on top of it? Certainly. Yeah, absolutely. I could have had my Autobots sitting on top of it going, haha, Decepticons.
That's right.
I have the high ground.
You could have had Thrust popping out of the back of the trailer like Optimus ran him right through. I don't think you have Thrust, but, Thrust was the one he ran over.
No. I think I got Starscream, Legacy. But yeah.
Yeah, but the point that, But,
But no, I mean, like but it's amazing the stuff that is out now
Oh, absolutely.
compared to way back when. Because like I remember, like I just remember like when
We
I
were
was
just
collecting
happy to
way
have
back
the
when.
toys.
Yeah, I mean, we were just happy back then just to have it. But nowadays, like it's like, oh, I can get
have
show
a
accuracy. Oh, I can
yeah,
get this add-on kit or this upgrade
yeah.
kit. Oh, I can get
and that's
Prime.
all. And that's all thanks to third party people. That's
But it's
all
sad it
thanks
takes
to.
a third party to do it.
I understand that, but
I mean, I'm
that's
happy for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm like,
right. No. I know. But the thing about the third party community and the third party section is that they're also fans. Like, I'm sure if you were to present yourself to Hasbro with either your stasis pod or your cloak Megatron that you 3D printed or whatever, they would look at that and be like, oh, it is feasible. We could do this. We might not financially be able to do it, but it is possible in the future that we could do this kind of thing. And it takes fans to tell these companies, hey, look, this is what we want. We give you money, you give us stuff.
I remember that quote.
That's right. It's not mine. It's Ender's, but it ain't mine. But I quote it all the time. And it's a good quote.
It is. It is. But I mean, like I'm thankful for these 3D artists that make these things, like these designs.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I've got a stasis pod, I've got Captain Kirk's command chair, I've got like all these different figure design things. I've got starships that like the Enterprise E, and then I got the Enterprise, the original one. I've got the Enterprise G from Picard. I've got, I used to have the Zeonizer morphers, and now I have them again because I 3D printed them. And I have the classic morpher, which I've never owned. Although with Playmates designing their own, if those ever hit store, they're going to be like $20. I'll probably get one at that price. But at the same time, it's like it's almost cheaper for the hobbyists to take over the toy industry. Where we're kind of at right now, which is really weird.
Yeah, it's very strange. Very, very strange.
I mean, I'm almost to the point where it's like, oh, I don't really need all of these, I mean, I don't need any of it, but it's like I can almost just like, oh, they don't have it. I'll find somebody who made a file and print it myself. Like, it's like, as long as it exists, like, I didn't want to buy a 20-year-old version of Dragon Ball GT Vegeta, but I bought a 3D print file that I can get in a more show accurate version of the same character.
Yep.
Which I was like, I'm more apt to do that because I want more of the show accuracy. Like, I'm not one of those, like, it's the same reason, like, I don't have anything against Funkos.
Yeah.
I don't personally care for them, but it's because they just don't resonate with me and what my version of standards are. Like, for you, you're like, I'm never going to pose them. I'm never going to transform them. It doesn't matter to me. Like, I just want the character.
That's the coolest thing about them is whatever pose that Funko decides to put them in, that's the pose they're in. Like I said, outside of their head turning left or right, there is no real pose. Whatever Funko decides to do, that's what is done. Like, literally right now, as we're talking about this, I'm looking at upcoming releases for Red Turbo Ranger, Red Zeo Ranger, and I cannot believe they're doing this, but I need it. I have to have it. Damn it, Mike, don't cry. They're doing the Black Dino Thunder Ranger. They're
As a
doing
Funko?
Tommy from they're doing Tommy from Dino Thunder.
Helmet or no helmet?
Helmet. Of course, helmet. Yeah, no. And if they ever do a chase of this thing, it better be the invisible version, because damn, that would be cool as hell. That would be an awesome chase for this, for the Dino Thunder thing. But yeah, they're I'm about to send this to you right now so you can see it.
I got lucky when I was collecting the Legacy collection.
And you got the Dino Thunder?
I got the Dino Thunder, but what's funny is I didn't have to wait for it. I was doing my rounds at work, and like a lot of our locations are by Walmarts.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, I just got up here. It's lunchtime. Let's go hit up Walmart.
Yep.
And I went in there, and I think it was like in August or something of whatever year it was. And it was in Wyoming. I mean, I'm in Colorado, but
Yeah.
I stopped at the Wyoming one because it's literally like right next door to a location.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, let's see. And I saw it, and I was like, do I want it? Do I not want it? Because like at the time, I was like, I'm really like, I don't need it. Like I was really heavily weighing it, and then I saw that the Master Morpher was about to come out, and this was like the next month, and I couldn't get my hands on the Master Morpher, and I'm like, well, what better way to achieve the goal than to just collect what I could? And I was like, if I can't get the Master Morpher, I want all the Tommies.
Yep.
And so I got my hands on Zeo Red from like BBTS, and then that was the last one. I got Dino Thunder Black at the Walmart, but the funny thing is, I didn't get it the first time I saw it.
Oh no!
I got it. I went up a month and a half later.
Oh no!
And I was like, I wonder if it's still going to be there. And I went up there, and sure enough, it was still on the shelf. And I was like, yoink.
Yoink.
And then I saw that everywhere it was selling out. But it was like, it literally had come out like 2 months prior, and everybody was trying to get their hands on it, but it was just not available. And I'm like, I just happened upon it by accident. Lucky me. And so, but yeah, I mean, I can relate to it. I like that one specifically because it gave me the adult Tommy head with the spiked hair.
Yep.
And I, in turn, did not put that on the Black Dino Ranger. I put that on the Green Ranger. Because my Green Ranger, it came with the evil, like after, because I got the remaster one that didn't come with the shield, which I was a little bummed about. And then so I ended up getting that, and then I 3D printed the Dragon Shield.
Nice.
For the Green Ranger and the Red Ranger. And then I printed a silver one for the Black Ranger. Because I was like, ooh, it looks nice. But no, I mean, and that's kind of the thing with the collecting. It's like, and you know this as well as I do, I get all in.
Yep.
To the point, like when Tron Legacy came out, I was like, do I need the disc? No, I don't need the disc. Now I can 3D print the disc if I really want it, but I don't care anymore. Now, when Tron Ares comes out, I may change my tune and just 3D print one anyway. But right now I've been relegated to like Dragon Ball related stuff and Transformers, and I'm waiting on like a new Cobra Commander for the Geek series. battle armor, like the full 7-inch figure.
Yes.
So I'm super excited for that one. But and then there's like and it also seems like every time I get going on my Geek collection, the companies come out with
more stuff.
They come out with stuff after.
Yep.
Because like I made my own custom Captain Kirk from Generations with the vest, and Nacelle Toys is making
yep
the same exact stinking figure, but it's going to be accurate. And I'm like, well, they've got me. I'm not going to not get it. So it'll be fun either way. But I just thought it was funny. I'm like, yeah, of course they get the license, they're going to do it justice, and then I'm going to be like, I got to get it.
Of course.
But that's kind of the beauty of the Geek collections nowadays. It's like I'm older, I collect what I want, and then you get either the better renditions that the companies produce, or somebody's 3D printing exactly what you're looking for.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yep. As for me, I don't collect anything anymore. What are even collections? Nobody knows. No, I've really been slowing down in the last few years. I did the math. I started recollecting stuff in 2017, so it's been 8 years since I started doing the Funko collecting stuff, and I've sold stuff, I've bought stuff, I've kept most of the stuff that I've absolutely felt that I absolutely could not part with, kind of thing. But there have been plenty of things where I'm like, ooh, I don't need that anymore. I have no real attachment to that anymore. I'm okay letting that go, or hey, I have to pay this bill, or hey, I have to do this, or I have to do that. And it's like, sacrifices must be made. Whatever. It is what it is. And my thing with the Funko Pop collecting has always been, it has to be a character, or it has to be a show, or a cartoon, or a movie, or a comic, or something that, like, you're not gonna see me go out and buy the entirety of the Game of Thrones Funko Pop set. Not that I could. Those things are just the value on those are just, it's out of my reach. Not that I would anyway, because I have no interest. But it's one of those things where you're not going to see me with. I'm trying to think. It's a different character that I don't care about. God. I don't know. Like, you're not going to see me with a Mr. Bean, or what's his nuts from The Office, Dwight, or Michael Scott, or whatever. Like, you're not going to see any of that. Like, right now, the two biggest parts of the collection are, ow, that was my finger. Stupid desk. Yes, folks, can you tell I'm having problems this time? Not like any other time. I'd say the two biggest franchises I currently have are Transformers and Turtles. He-Man would probably be a third if I still had a third of my He-Man collection that I used to have for the Funko Pops, but that would be a close third for those. But Transformers and Turtles has been the two biggest ones that I've tried to keep up with. I don't have all the Turtles stuff, but I do have the black and white chases for the comic versions of the Turtles, because those were the ones I wanted. Because if I was going to be comic accurate, I wanted it to be the black and white chases. And funny story about that, about going after what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. This is a couple of years ago now, so this isn't anything current. This is a couple of years ago. Have you ever been to a Whatnot auction?
No.
Don't. Just don't even let yourself be tempted. And I'm not saying that because Whatnot is bad. I'm not saying that to, like, if you ever want to try it, sure, fine, go ahead. Here's somebody's $15 whatever code to do whatever you want with whatever. Because that's what people do that do Whatnot auctions, is like, here's my code to do whatever, and that's fine. I'm not making fun of Whatnot, folks. I'm not. I'm just kind of saying
He's
it out
not
of the side of my
Whatnot.
mouth. Yeah, I'm not in Whatnot. But I used to be, because my thing is, if I'm, as long as everything's paid for and I have extra funds to spend and I want to help the people, like, people that I watch on YouTube that are Funko Pop creators, like Slapshot Pops or the Pop and Duo or this person or that person or whomever, they run Whatnot auctions. They buy and sell Funko Pops. And, you know, through them and through other people, I've found others and whatever. And I was in a Whatnot auction one night, and I just so happened to be in a Whatnot auction that had the entire set of the chases of the TMNT line, of the comic line, of the black and white chases. And I had already bought like 3 of them. I think there's 6 in the set. Yeah, because it's 131 to 136. I think that's right. God, I guess I could just look over at my shelf and figure it out. Yeah, there's 6 in the set. So I had half the set. I got down to the final 2. And everybody in the auction realized, finally, after like an hour and a half, oh, Mike really must want these. We're going to now make him pay for the final 2. I would have to look at my phone, and I would have to look at the Whatnot records on my phone to tell you. Maybe I can tell you folks next time in the next episode of GOT here on AG or whatever we're going to do this for Geek Topics, Geeks of Topics, or Geekdom of Topics. But I think for one of these things, I ended up spending close to $75, $80, $90.
I mean, I could see that.
I mean, that's okay. And again, I don't want to say that that's not normal. I don't think that was normal back then for this specific line, even though it was a black and white chase. These, I believe, had just come out, or maybe come out like 6 months previous to when this happened. So they were fairly new. It wasn't like it was a grail from like 2013 or something. This was fairly new, and I understand chases are rare and this, that, and the other thing and everything else, but like, I'm used to spending $200-$300 for 5 or 6. Like, okay, perfect example. I forget which episode of All Things Transformers it is, because this is Altered Geek and we've kind of mixed and matched the two here tonight. But when I talked about the Transformers NFTs that I bought for my buddy, the Ultra Magnus and the Cheetor and the RC and the Blitzwing, the newest, the Wave 2 wave for that.
Yep.
I think in total I paid him $350 for 4 Funko Pops. I know some people have shelled out $350 for 1 Funko Pop, depending on how limited it is or depending on how much of a con exclusive it might have been. So I'm not sitting here saying that people won't pay more for these things. I'm just saying, in my experience of trying to get this thing, the experience that I had that night was like, oh, Mike's getting all the turtle chases. We're going to make Mike pay in the end. And it is what it is. But hey, I got him. So I got him.
That's how I felt when I was trying to do the Power Rangers.
Nah.
just because they were kind of selling out everywhere.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you what, to get your hands on the Legacy Collection Green Ranger or Red Ranger, the remaster, was not easy.
No.
In fact, the remaster Red Ranger, everywhere I tried, would sell out. Actually, Hasbro had discontinued the line right around release, and so pretty much anybody that had pre-ordered it wasn't getting it. Like I had it at BBTS, and the date kept changing and kept changing and kept changing, and I was like, I am not going to end up with this. And then I tried ordering it from like AliExpress and other places, and it was not working. And so I ended up getting from BBTS, I ended up getting the regular Jason figure,
right,
without the dragon armor, which that was the reason I was getting the other one, was to get the dragon armor, which I was like, it's kind of a crappy way that Hasbro did that.
Yeah, it was. They shouldn't have done that.
They did it so they could resell the same figures over again.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm saying they shouldn't have done that.
No. So anyways, I got that one, and then I was like, I had just got the 3D printer at some point near to that. And I found the file. Somebody had made one, and I was like, okay, this is going to be good. You know, I'll see how it turns out. And my old printer printed it like garbage. Like it did not come out at all. But it was also like the file, like, and that's something I've had to learn. Some of the files are not optimized correctly,
right?
And they print like trash.
Oh no!
And then you get other ones that are made really well, and they print really well without any, supports or any additional need. And so I experimented with that thing. Like I tried cutting it in half and gluing it together, and I tried, all these other methods, and eventually got it at a weird angle, like almost like kind of cockeyed, and then it printed perfectly with my gold filament, so I didn't even have to paint it. And then I was like, okay, this works. Let's print another one. And so that's how I ended up with it. But and it does fit the figures, which was nice, but it was still not fun to have to go through that process. But I mean, I've like the Stasis Pod, that was like a holy grail figure, thing when I was a kid, and I have my hands on one. Does it fit like some of the figures? No. I mean, it fits a deluxe or a basic or, modern deluxe and core class, but it doesn't fit anything bigger than that unless I printed it larger.
Yeah.
But again, it's still, I'm not unhappy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, geek collecting has certainly changed quite a bit.
Absolutely, it has. Holy crap, has it? Definitely has.
So my question to the listeners would be, what are some of your like kind of like holy grail geek items? What are some things that you were able to like maybe get from, third party or from 3D printing or kit bashing or just things that you've managed to find at, auctions or, just other places? Because I'd be kind of interested to hear what people's experience were trying to obtain, these figures that they've been hunting for to complete their collections.
Absolutely. And remember, folks, nobody needs a collection intervention.
I mean, Mike is right.
Worst show ever.
I'm glad I've not actually seen that.
Are you serious? You've never
Is
seen?
They're like geek collectors, like
No,
hoarders.
it's.
Or
Hold on. Let me. I'll
we'll dig it up after the show. But
I'll dig it up after.
But yeah, let us know what you guys are enjoying and what you guys think. You can let us know on our either our Facebook page or on geekcastradio.com. You can send us an email, feedback@geekcastradio.com, and let us know what you think there. So I think that about does it for this episode.
Yep.
So until next time, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks.
From classic icons to new sci-fi dreams, with every episode we'll unravel the themes. Let's geek out and laugh, keep the spirits high. Together we'll journey, reaching for the sky. Join the discussion, let's dive into lore. From Star Trek to Transformers, we're ready to soar. Superheroes clash as we spark up the flame. Altered Geek Podcast, remember the name.